How's it going, everybody? It is Shitties on Broadway. But we're going to be playing some games today. Maybe one game. It depends how it goes. I sometimes see Colonist as a bit of a punishment, a bit of a breakdown, bit of a beatdown. There's a key to the madness of it all, right? So we're gonna enjoy ourselves. I'll provide you guys a little bit of live commentary, and we're gonna play off that. I'm just gonna and find myself something to play for sound background noise, because I am a very I don't know what the right word is. I'm someone that needs something sound wise, but why not pick Selena Gomez for that purpose? Let's see what we got. We are placing in fourth. I love that. For those that don't know, I do actually really like playing in fourth position. It's kind of one of those things. You get versatility. You're considered the underdog. Not necessarily great in most contexts. But your strength as fourth is flexibility, what you lack in production. We do see the 8-5-10 going first. It's not a bad move. It's a safe move. They know that they're probably not going to get wheat on the way back. Realistically, it's hard to say, but I probably say that the 8-5-10 or the 8-4-3 is a better first pick. I hate going first, I'll be honest with you. Third is always my preference, then fourth. But when you look at a board like this, I don't like the 8-5-10 in first. What they're concerned of, which is fair, is that they're not going to get wheat on the way back. The way I evaluate the board and the position is I think in an absolute worst case scenario, you have something like 9-10 to 12-9 or vice versa. In some contexts, not always, you'll have the 6-3 as an out. There's also an incredibly high chance that 6-11-12 is left on the way back. So that being said, it's safe because it's the strongest in terms of resource diversity and strongest in terms of production, but I actually don't think it is the best pick for first to make. When you guys watch more videos, games that I play in particular, you'll begin to notice I don't necessarily align with what is considered to be optimal in a lot of cases. With that being said, there is a key or a secret to the madness, right? Generally speaking, there is never a objectively correct move in Catan. A lot of times, making what I call the suboptimal move is going to be the optimal move. Now, as we look at Blue's position here, I am hoping that Black makes a return to the game. That would be absolutely awesome. But they do take 6-5-9. Now, when Black sees the 8-5-10 go in first, their perspective is, damn, they kind of screwed up on that pick, because 6-5-9 is taken responsively to the 8-5-10. We now see the 4-9-6 get selected, and going back to what I said earlier, the 6-3 would have been an okay out with a lot of these combinations. But with 8-5-10, it's not necessarily the best thing. Now we're going to be looking at what we have to do for our pick. Now, we have a few very obvious considerations. We do not want to leave the 8-5-3-1 open, as that allows Black a nice out in the second position. I hate the 8-4-3 here, because it's clustered and will never get us a road connection. Typically, I already have an idea of what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to vocalize it a little bit before I lock it in. I'm going to take the 10-11-9, which does a few different things, but primarily congests the center of this board. The second action that I will likely complete is the 8-5-10 up. This means that I'm going to be playing with wood and ore as essentially the only resources that I have. There are a few kind of keynotes that I want to go over after I make these placements. Another strong consideration is you do 8-4-3 up, 10-11-9, but I dislike this for the simple premise that I do not start or make any brick. So I'm going to lock in what I do, and as the game continues, I'm going to explain my thought process on what I believe to be a setup or pick that majority of players, if you were to ask, would say is incorrect or poorly done. So, if we evaluate this position, it does look incredibly bad. What does it do for us? When we look at blue in the third position, we already have an expectation and a reality of what they're going to be taking. They need to get wheat, they need to get ore, they need to get sheep. They're going to have to compromise in one of these fields. In an ideal scenario for them, they probably have to go to the 8-4-3. So why do I take this? The primary purpose is the player that makes the most wood and brick with no wheat has zero chance to connect the longest road this game. That does not necessarily mean they will not win or try to go for the longest road, but with a defensive placement in fourth that is objectively weak, we now remove essentially what is considered our main road competitor. Ideally, when you play in fourth position, unless the stars align, you are not going to be playing or wheat, sheep, or development cards in majority of games. That is going to be a generalized rule of thumb that I tell people. Now, when you look at my setup, again, you're going to say, what the heck is this? This is bullshit. This is trash. The idea here is we're going to go for a road settle to the 9-2 first, then go to the 8. The idea now is black is now forced into the 8-4-3. So you see how locking the ore here strategically to not only remove the road connect for blue, but also to deny 6-5-9 any ore access is tremendously large. In an ideal scenario now, red is forced to go to 6-3-11 left or build on the 6-3 and go up. In either case, this is a great scenario for us. There we go. By them going on the 6-3, this now changes our priority. We now have to go for the 8-3-1 first as our first objective, responding to blue as a primary threat. The reason this is done is because with the loss of the 6-3-3-1 that we imagined would go in the first place, blue is now on the pressure of only having 2 spots with a road settlement to build toward. Our numbers are very limited, but with the ability to track blue's hand, it looks like they're going to prioritize 11-5-4. That being said, we still have to deny them cards and access. I do not want to hit the 6, as I ideally would look at it as a trading perspective, so I merely hit this and deny blue 1 card. Now this block has multiple layers to it. The robber's going to move, so I don't really need to talk about it too much, but the early implication of the block is that you're removing the resource in which you make the most of. I probably get robbed here, which is fine. Red recognizes my hand as ore, they don't make ore. So this is the correct block in steel for red to make, as unfortunate as it is for me that they roll a 7 there. After we establish the settlement here, we aim for a road settlement to the 9-2, and then we perform what's called a port and hold to get a city down. As you can see, wood for brick is something that sequentially goes quite often. By denying either the 4 or the 8 here, removing wood access indirectly increases the value of brick, but also makes brick to be a stuck card because of the amount of wood on the board. We now see a road go down by black to the 12-9, which is a correct play, as doubling on the 9 here, they're more than likely going to be wanting to city the 8-4-3 as opposed to the 6-5-9. Unfortunately, this is a trade that I would love to do in the reverse, but our priority has to be getting this settlement shortly after blue settles, or preferably immediately before they build that settlement. Blue is going to be in a very strong position if they get both this and the 3-1, but they will also be in a playable position if they get this and the wood port. Ooh, I really don't like that. They just hand him the 1-1 settle, and we did not even roll a card yet. So this is not looking ideal for us. Our early game is intentionally very slow. The issue now that blue is leading is that the primary block targets from our opponents are going to be the 9s and the 8s. So ideally we want them to move it, but then that probably means we have to hit the 4 and the 5, which it sucks. It really sucks. As black, I would hope that they would hit the 6 brick instead, but there is a strong consideration. They do trade across a dev card, and I'm just not picking up anything, which is unfortunate due to this 8 block. But there's not really a whole lot I can do in this scenario. It looks like black's hand is pretty stuck for the most part. What I could do is try to get a 2-1 value from them, something like a wood and a sheep for a brick, if that's something they want to swing, because we don't make sheep or wheat, right? But they do have the settle in hand. So this is looking a little rough. I think if I do get robber control, what I would probably want to do is move it to the 6 and hit blue. But I'm not rolling a single damn card. No 10s, no 9s, no 5s, no 11s. This is not looking good. Ideally here, like red never has to play a knight. If they have a knight, they're going to be expanding to the 6-2. But if we don't start rolling different numbers here, we are going to struggle. Ideally here, come on black. Please hit the 6. Yeah, of course you want the 9 hit. The reason you don't hit the 9, even if you think I'm leading over red, is you want to test red's dev card. We finally do get a 10. There you go. Denied a brick. Crucial. They're going to play a knight anyway if they have it. There you go. They recognize it. It slows down black, who is, I would consider, board state leader. In this scenario, it's a little tough. Like I can throw them. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say I can throw them a wood or a wheat. This gives them 3-1 flexibility. There you go. Yeah, I could have asked for the second card, but we are playing slowly in a pace that is not great, but we have potential. I would like to switch this type of trade. Too slow. They're just giving 1-1 settles away, though, which is not ideal. There you go. Good denial. The issue is that wheat is very hard to trade, so unless we hit a 10 and can 4-1 into a wheat, it is not an easy way to move out of this type of position. Yeah, there we go. Denied a 4, which is pretty big. I think we have to pass here, unfortunately. There's not enough cards. We can't really trade for anything. I would do an ore for a wheat here, but red is just going to empty their hand to dev, which makes sense. An ore for wheat should pass, but we really have to hope we don't 7 out. If we 7 out, our game is kind of screwed at this point. We're on 2, everyone's at 3-4. Okay. We can definitely get a wheat. We just have to pray we don't 7. We have to also hope that blue is not going to... Oh my god. Yeah. That's a very greedy move for them to do. I now need to try to, like, reverse engineer this in a way that makes sense. I think I have to do something like this. Oh my lord. That is very frustrating. Okay. We were able to turn a what would have been great turn into a bad turn. But I was able to make up for it by grabbing the 6-3-11. I am pretty frustrated, but I wouldn't say have a strong chance, but now have to play off sheepport, which is a not ideal, but different situation. But in a normal context, I would be pretty pissed off. The reason being, yes, I recognize the 3-1 is important for blue, but it is very important for our game. But strategically sounding, it makes sense because they have access to the 4. Part of what makes or what separates a good player from a great player is recognizing that actions taken in a game that are best for the opponent for their own game is not necessarily done out of harmful intent. Which, unfortunately, the way that happened, it was optimal for them there. That being said, even though blue's position is very strong, they're going to have to play development cards with wood brick. Woodport does make that significantly easier, but I now see the road potential, funnily enough, being black in terms of competition. Red has an early pacing on knights, which is awesome, so I don't actually throw this game out yet as far as the towel. I do have to get a city down. Ideally, it's really hard to say. I would love to get the sheepport, but I also have to be realistic. I'm going to try to do a non-block deal here. Yeah, I'm just going to solo him because I don't really have another spot. But I'm not going to give him ore because he loves ore. I'm going to give him... ah, shit, I probably do have to give him ore. I need the sheep. I can't just throw it away. Ooh. Oh my gosh. So I'm intentionally pretending to be dumb here for a important gaslighting play if I can make it. But it's not going to happen. I have to Devon pass. Frustrating. So I did that intentionally. I knew that red said yes, but I said black. So then I can try to sneak a city trade there. It doesn't always happen. But unfortunately, I'm forced to dev when in my position, you never want to buy a dev. A non-knight is great, but army is effectively not going to happen. I have to now extort for another wheat and probably try to get another dev to unstick my hand. Which is kind of dumb, but that's the situation I'm forced in. Alright. Yeah, and black is now picking up progress. They're going to more than likely get road. Wheatport is exceptionally strong for their game. Funnily enough, probably pre-night, even though it puts me in contention of 7 out. I do not want that. It's like a dev for 2 brick, but it puts me over. It's not worth doing in this scenario. But that being said, if I want another brick, I can just rob them for it. Yeah, they're going to just empty their hand for a dev. Okay. This does go through. Oh, this is gonna be dumb though. Oh my lord. Don't screw me over. Don't screw me over, friend. Ha 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 ha, don't do it. I know what you're trying to do. You know what though? This gives me another idea. we instead drop double road to the sheep port and pass. Okay. Ideally now we go for the settle and then try to port hold into a city. That was so dumb. But you know what? I can take what social advantage I have in an online setting and try to twist it to my advantage. Okay, I have it anyway. So that's why I hit blue. There you go. There you go, boys and girls. We now have a playable game. Don't give up. Anyway, I have to city this because my only port this game is going to be sheep port. We are back in. It's not great, but we're in. We have an out. After we settle this, we have flexibility for devs, roads, settles. It's looking good. It's looking good. I can't get too excited, but I'm in a lot better mood than I was about 10-15 minutes ago. Let's see. Blue doesn't have a knight, so like they can complain, but if it's two VPs, then they're arguably in first tier. Like even if red has army, I don't really care about that too much. Yeah, we have to city this because the sheep becomes our wheat in this context after the port. I can counter him, but if I do that, that just becomes port fodder for me. Unless he monos me. If he monos, then it's whatever. But he also doesn't make that much sheep. I can't do 1-to-1 there. He's trying to get a dev, so I understand that, but I can't push him to 3 non-knights here. That doesn't make sense for me. Because if I roll a 10, then I just 4-to-1 and buy a dev. If I roll anything else, it's probably a 4-to-1 pass anyway. Ideally here, I roll a 9 or a 10 or an 11 or 6. Okay. Playable. I now have a dev in hand. What I would love to do is frame my hand in a very creatively way, because otherwise I'm just going to have to 4-to-1 for a weed and pass. Or 4-to-1 for a weed and pop is actually probably my optimal move, because there's no brick out or weed out there. I'm just going to do that. Again, it sucks, but... Okay, we pull Yop. I am very happy with Yop. We now have to reevaluate game state with the Year of Plenty. I need to get the settlement without the Year of Plenty and use the Year of Plenty on the 8-5, 10 city, if not 10 and 11 city. There's a lot of pros and cons. We are in a good position if we don't 7 out here. We have options to trade for a wheat and then 4-to-1 into a settle. The Year of Plenty we want to use on 2 wheat no matter what with this setup. Pros and cons of 10, 9, 11 city or 8, 5, 10 city. We probably just do 8, 5, 10 for the sheer production value. Holy crap, if we don't roll a 7 and or can get a wheat trade across, this is going to be a big turn. Blue is effectively 7 points. We do need to be aware of the road sneak. Oh, I love it. Okay, we are going to make a complex offer with black. Otherwise, I'm okay with something like this as well. Alright, they don't want to trade. My hand's stuck. I do not want to use the Year of Plenty here for that. I think my move is to dev. Whew. Okay. Oh, I didn't see he said liar. I thought he said sir. Oh yeah, you take smile the way. This shows though. I really want to get the settle without having to use the Year of Plenty, because the Year of Plenty is best case for me used on a city, on 11, 10, 9, or 8, 5, 10. But the wood is just worthless in my position. Woo! Come on, baby. This is looking tough. There we go. Longest road 7, open settle. 4 block is denied. Blue must be so mad right now, but they have 2 VPs or mono VP. It's a really weird position board state wise, because like army is not even necessarily locked, but red is going for army road. Okay. I might have to use the Year of Plenty to settle here, which is not ideal. If I do that, let me see if I can trade for a sheep. Fucking hate that, but I think that's gonna be my best move, as Year of Plenty for 2 wheats. I can't stay stuck this many turns. Yeah. I'm just gonna do that and pass. I maybe should have done that the prior turn, but in relevance of pacing, it may or may not matter. Never. So red doesn't necessarily have to have a non-knight here. Yeah. Somebody has to swing to army. Oh, come on, black. Okay, want to play road? Play road. Be the road clown. I'll play devs. Let's go. Put me in a position to dev here. Okay, I lose all my cards to a mono. That's fine. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't have a knight as well. That's a good mono for them, though. Nope. Fuck you. You're not getting any sheep. This puts the table dynamic in a weird state, though, because black is now fully intent on challenging road. I think that forces us to play devs. Because blue either has 2 VPs or they're on 7, no chance for army. They're going to have to play BTT. In their scenario, they need to get city-city and then settle on 9-2. So the 9-2 settle becomes pretty relevant in this board state, assuming black gets the 4-11. But yeah, that's going to be what we have to do now is challenge army. That is ideally going to be our way to win. If they're on 7, they have at least a city here, but I think they're going to realize that army is now up for grabs, and they're going to slam the dev deck as well. Yep, there you go. They're on 7, and they're trying to get largest army. Their issue is they don't have a city, so unless they have second mono or Year of Plenty in there, I don't really agree with that move from them. I think their play there is to city rather than buy twice. But it really depends, because if they have 2 VPs, they get army, then they only need 1 city or the 9-2 settle to win. This is an interesting position because we now have city in hand, but ideally I want to get 2 dev cards. This is kind of a fucked situation, to be honest. I'm going to dev. I have city in hand, but I'm going to dev. I get knight. I'm going to buy 1 more. Victory point. Okay. I hate pulling victory points. Everybody knows this about me, but it may not situationally be bad here, depending on how blue plays this out. Because if we can get another dev on this following turn, yeah, there we go. They're going to settle for the win. Ideally, they're going to try. They're slow playing the fuck out of that. Oh my god, they monoed my entire hand. I got my hand monoed twice. That's just ass. And now there's a probable 0 chance here that I can dev. I gotta go for a wheat steal now. Actually, I'm not gonna extort in this situation. It's 2 out of 3. Red is in a challenging win position, but I cannot ignore blue as well. I'm gonna have to go here and just rob red and pray that I pull the wheat. There you go. Then I'm going to try to trade into a sheep. I have to go for the army now. It's fucking stupid, but that's the position that I'm put in. Okay. Because if red settles or buys a VP here, we lose, even though I think it's very unlikely that they'll get the VP. It's open settle win, so they should be robbed. Here, it is very likely we roll into another knight, but now it's a matter of denying their settlement for the win. Their hand is 2 sheep, 2 brick. They now need wheat. Go, 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 go crazy. If they're going to challenge road. I might even give them 2 in this position. Yeah, that also makes sense for me to do, because I can port sheep. And I 7 out. Ugh, I should have just done a 2-1, to be honest with you guys. But, yeah, I gotta dump this. Keep the dev. Unfortunately, that 7 really hurts because there's decent odds we can roll into something else. But my move is always going to be buy a dev and pass here. If I pull a knight, then I have to play the knight for tempo. So down the I'm a little concerned that blue has 3 non-knights though. But it's like, what am I really afraid of here? Oh, black is going to be pissed, but I have to take the wheat from them. It's a pretty much guaranteed wheat pull. I'm sorry, black. Yeah. I'm really sorry, but that saves me 2 sheep there. Yep. That's also the reason why it's an optimal block. I am not giving them a dev here. Fuck that. Because now we have army. So now we play the knight and just build a city. The board state's changed. Black will probably revenge rob me for that. Yep, there you go. Revenge block. That's fine. Oh, that's not fine, though. But it actually means we have decent chances to steal into a knight. Assuming the wheat's not spent. Oh, this is a close game, guys. Very close. This is nerve-wracking. So red is going to drop 2 points, which makes black the primary target. Their hand is somewhat flooded with wheat, 50-50 steal. I have to go for it. I have the pull anyway. Yeah, I know. I'm gaslighting here, but it's fine. I hit black for the 50-50 wheat, and even if I pull a sheep, I have a dev anyway. Yeah, from blue this makes sense. They probably have 2 VPs at minimum. Unfortunately, though, I have to hit black here, as they're the only ones, I think, with potential to win this turn. One card off win. Let's see if I can get a win trade. You gotta try. You have to try. Okay, nope. RB, this is fine. We now win with a settlement on the 2 or the 9-2. Okay. The way we lose is if blue has 3 VPs. If they have 2 VPs, they have to perform double city or settle city. We have a lot of rolls to get win here. Whether that's a city, road is out of the equation. Crazy! Make a scene, nobody can ignore. Black is forced to fight red, and blue 7's out. Perfect scenario for us. Even if we get robbed on the 5 here, solo block, we don't really give a shit. Best case scenario is they take the wood. Yep. So now we roll a 6 or a 3 to roll into another dev. Oh, MIA. I'm going to reveal this because it doesn't really matter. Yep. Yeah, we just have an open settle here that nobody can contest. There is an argument to lock blue out of 9. Shit, actually. There's a lot of ways to think about this. If blue gets a settlement here on the 9-2 with a row builder, then my row builder is suboptimal. But then if red extends to cut me, then this is a guaranteed spot. So we have win in hand, assuming blue doesn't win here. This is a win trade. They have 3 VPs. Oh my god, no way I just get robbed out of win here. Frickin', what is this? If this is like row builder settle with 3 VPs, I'm gonna be pissed off. There you go. No 7, and we have it. Oh, come on! I can't catch a break with this game. Oh wait, I have it anyway. I have Shapeport. But ideally, I think I hit the 5 anyway to prove a point. There you go. Not a lie, but not the truth. Yep, look at that. Look at that. And I'm like pretty sure also they had the second row builder. That was a trade to try to row builder settle to 9-2 for the win. So in hindsight, guys, the row builder that I played to 5 thinking it was a safe move is actually suboptimal. The optimal play for me is to play row builder to the 9-2 pointing 2 roads down. Which denies blue the chance of getting a settlement as their last point, meaning the only way that blue can win is a city. And because we recognize that the Year of Plenties and monos are gone from the deck, and more than likely all the VPs are gone, this row builder, despite looking safe and it being correct in most cases, was actually almost a game-losing mistake. The correct move for me is to always play the row builder to the 9-2 and 1 down, which locks blue out of winning unless they build a city. So that row builder I played was actually suboptimal in a weird context, but it ended up working out. I think that was actually probably my biggest mistake that I see looking at this game. But hopefully you guys enjoy a little bit of perspective, how to play with what is seen as a weak setup and come out crushing on top. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed the content. Stay tuned for more. See ya.